Hi everyone, my name is Isaac, and today I'm going to be walking through the SWE-Bench dataset and how you can evaluate it using LangSmith, which can be really helpful for tracking your traces and seeing where your agent is going wrong when generating predictions. So this diagram is a basic explanation of what I'm going to walk through today. And the important thing here is that this is going to allow us to run our prediction code in parallel in these Docker containers that we're going to create. And what this means is that instead of creating an evaluator for every single prediction that runs the code separately, we can run our code a lot quicker. And then after the code is done running, we have these log files that are going to inform us about how our predicted patch did, whether it solved the git commit or not. And then we're going to be able to run a very simple LangSmith evaluator based on those log files, and we are going to be able to see our graded results in LangSmith. So by separating out the evaluator and the predictor, we're going to be able to really speed up the development cycle here and run all of our code in parallel, which is what we want. So before I jump into the notebook, I'm just going to do a really quick overview of what the SWE-Bench dataset is for those of you who aren't familiar with it, and then we'll get started coding. Okay, here I am on Hugging Face with the SWE-Bench dataset, and really all I'm going to go over here is this dataset summary. So SWE-Bench is a dataset of GitHub issues, and the task is for the agent to come up with a patch. So this is what a git patch looks like right here. You're going to have some differences in files and the lines that you're adding and taking away and modifying. And what we are testing here is our agent's ability to generate this patch, this string, and afterwards we're going to evaluate by performing unit test verification on the post PR behavior. All of these PRs are in Python-based repositories, and there are a total of 2,294 issues in this dataset. If you'd like to learn more about the SWE-Bench dataset and competition and the existing submissions, be sure to read up on that online. But now that we have a little bit of an understanding of what our goal is, we're going to go in and write some code. All right, now we are in the notebook and we can start writing code. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load our data into LangSmith. So to do that, we're going to read the data from Hugging Face first. And in this instance, I'm going to use the development split of the data because it's the smallest one, but make sure that you use the split and or splits that are useful for your case. Next, we're going to do a very important step, which is making sure that LangSmith treats the version column as a string column. The reason we have to do this is that there's values in our column like 0.10. And since all of the values in this column are float-like, what happens is LangSmith tries to automatically convert them to floats. So 0.10 is going to turn into 0.1, and then when we try and stringify it, it's still going to stay as 0.1. We're not going to be able to get back that trailing 0. So we're going to have to force LangSmith to treat this column like a column of strings, and we're going to do that by just adding a really simple prefix to every value in the column, and then later on when we're actually doing our testing, we'll remove that prefix when we pass that data to our predict function. Next, we're going to save this as a CSV file. Make sure to edit this file path so you save it wherever you like. And then there's instructions here on how to upload your CSV to LangSmith manually, but we're just going to do this programmatically. And we are going to use the LangSmith client, which provides us this really simple function, upload CSV. And the important thing to notice here is that there's no output keys because we're not checking against a reference output. The way we grade our code is we actually run the generated patch and we see did it pass all the unit tests. So in this case, all of the keys from our data frame are going to be input keys. So we can run this function. And once it's done running, let's head over to LangSmith and make sure that our dataset was created. Okay, now I'm in LangSmith and I can search our dataset by the name that we just gave it. And look, right there it is. So we have 0 experiments and we have 225 examples, which is fantastic. The next step that we're going to take is we're going to create a small test split so that we can quickly run experiments. So we're just going to take these first 3 examples. We're going to add this to a split. We'll create a new split and we'll call it test. And we're going to create that. And then another important thing we're going to do is make sure to copy this dataset ID for when we want to run our experiments later. And if we go check our test split, we'll see that it just has these 3 examples. And now that we've copied our dataset ID and we've created our test split, we're ready to go back to the notebook and show how we can run our predictions and then run our evaluators on this. Okay, now we're back in the notebook, and we've defined a dummy predict function here just to showcase the ability of LangSmith to run this predict function. But the important thing here is that what we want to be guessing is this model patch. So in our case, we're just going to be returning the string none every time. But in your case, you're probably going to want to run your agent to return an intelligent prediction that could actually be the GitHub patch. So this model patch key right here is what is important. And when you have an agent and you're making predictions, make sure you fill this out. And then another important step is make sure you've copied the dataset ID here. So now we can run this function, and it's going to run predictions for all of our examples. And now, if we go back over to LangSmith, we can click onto the Experiments tab, and we'll see we've just created an experiment. So you'll see there are no feedback keys at the moment, but all of our predictions are right here on the right-hand side. And so we have these instance IDs, which are going to be important because that's what our log files are going to be created on. And then we have our predicted model patches, which in our case is always none, but in your case should look something like the expected difference on the left-hand side. All right, now that we've generated our predictions, we're ready for the next step, which is to evaluate them. All right, so the evaluation that we're going to do is, if you remember from the diagram from earlier, a 2-step evaluation. First, we're going to take all of our predictions and we are going to spin up some Docker instances, and then we're going to run those instances in parallel by installing the repositories, applying the prediction patch that we just generated. In our case, we didn't really generate any prediction patches. And then we're going to check the prediction logs to see if we pass or failed each test. Most of this code was borrowed from the original SWE-Bench repository, which you can get to by clicking this link here. We're not going to go through that now, but we are going to look into how we modified that code to be used for LangSmith. So there are 2 functions here. First, I'll just walk through the evaluate predictions function, which is quite simple. All it's going to do is it's going to build some Docker environment images, and then it's going to run those instances. And these are functions that we're importing from SWE-Bench. So if you want to look into exactly how those are implemented, be sure to read up on that. Once we've run our instances, we're going to clean all of our images, and then we're going to call this function called convert runs to LangSmith feedback. So this function is fairly simple. All it's going to do is going to look at those instances. Remember those instance IDs that I just showed you in LangSmith? It's going to find that instance ID. If the model patch exists, which in our case it does, technically, we returned a string that is not empty. It's going to find the feedback. It's going to find the report file, for that feedback. And so this report file is generated inside of that run instances function from SWE-Bench. Once we find that report file, if it exists, we're going to start appending some of our feedback keys for LangSmith. So we have 3 feedback keys here. We have a completed patch, a resolved patch, and a non-empty patch. So they are pretty self-explanatory. The non-empty patch is simply giving it a score of 0 or 1, whether the patch was non-empty. The completed patch indicates whether the code was able to run, so whether it was a valid patch. And then the resolved patch is whether it actually resolved the PR. Once we have created all these feedback for instance dictionaries, we're going to open up our LangSmith evaluation directory, and we are going to write all of those feedbacks into this JSON file. And that's going to make our evaluate function really simple, because all we're going to have to do is read from this JSON file and then return the corresponding feedback keys. All right, so let's run this cell to define these functions, and then we're going to just prepare our data set to run in the Docker containers. So the way that we're going to do that is by just splitting that version again on that prefix that we added at the beginning, just so we're getting the right values there. And once we've done that, we can call our evaluate predictions function, which is going to spin up some Docker containers and run all of our code in parallel. In this case, there's only 3 instances, so the speed up is not significant. But if we're running on all 2,294 examples, we're going to have a lot more speed. So once this is all done running, we're going to return and see how we can send our evaluation to LangSmith. Okay, so now our evaluate predictions function has finished running, which calls the convert runs to LangSmith feedback at the end. And as we can see in our file directory here on the left-hand side, we have a log directory with these SQL fluff folders. And if you'll see back in LangSmith, those SQL fluffs correspond to the instance IDs of the 3 examples that we ran our predict function on. So each of these folders represents the logs that were generated from the Docker run. And then we took each of those logs, we looped through them in the convert runs to LangSmith feedback, and we created this feedback.json file, which contains the actual run ID and the corresponding feedback keys. So now all we have to do is run an evaluate function that's going to take this feedback.json file and actually assign those feedback keys to those run IDs. And that is really simple. It's going to take 3 lines of code right here in our SWE-Bench evaluator function. We're actually not going to use the reference example at all. All we're going to have to do is go find the run ID and find the LangSmith eval file, and we're just going to return exactly the JSON that is corresponds to that run ID. So once we run this function, it'll take 1 second. Once we see the green box, we can go back over to LangSmith, and we're going to see all of our feedback keys just showed up, which is super cool. So now we can see all of these were non-empty patches because we did actually return something, but none of them completed and none of them resolved the patch because this is not valid get difference code. And if we go back to our main experiments tab, we can see that those feedback keys are also in the summary view. All right, so that was a quick walkthrough of how we can run LangSmith evaluations in a multi-step process. And although this was used for the SWE-Bench evaluation, I hope this shows how you could do this for really any sort of evaluation where you're going to be running some code or doing some task that is not directly linked to LangSmith. So in this case, we had those parallel Docker containers. And this is really great for speeding up your development. But by linking this with LangSmith, you're able to also look under the hood and debug a lot quicker. So instead of just generating these log files, which would provide us information on whether a prediction was correct, we can actually create LangSmith feedback, which then allows us to inspect traces and get a lot quicker at debugging and figuring out where our agent is going wrong. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial, and I hope you enjoy building in LangSmith and have great success with the SWE-Bench task and any other tasks that you wish to do. So thank you so much and have a great day.